Hi, today I'm going to talk about Seasick Steve. If you're pretty new to cigar box guitars, you may not be aware of who he was. He was huge about 10 years ago, and he's still really popular in England. And he's going out on the road again this year, featuring his 3-string Trance Wonder Guitar. And that's what this is a replication of right here. He uses an old Tiesco Japanese hollow body thing that looks like this, but is, of course, this is a Gretsch. So I wouldn't recommend doing this to your Gretsch. It doesn't hurt it, but anyway, you can do it with any guitar whatsoever. You just leave on the A string, the G string, and the B string. And there's a little more to it than that. By the way, you can do this on your 3-string cigar box guitar, or for that matter, your 4-string cigar box guitar. The tuning is G, and the middle string is G an octave higher, and then B higher than that. I found out right away when I did this that I needed heavier strings. This had, like, I don't know, Ernie Ball regular on it or something like that, and so I went to quite a bit heavier string. I think this A string here is like a 46 or 48. And this, I'm using a wound G string here, which is about a 22 or a 24, something like that. And the high B string here, I think, is 17 or 18. Otherwise, it sounded really, really sort of thin. But once again, you can do it on your cigar box guitar. But this is a pretty neat guitar. The backstory to the guitar, I'm not going to tell you, because apparently there's 4 or 5 backstories now, maybe even more. So I don't even know which one to pick. He's a very entertaining fellow that tells a lot of stories. And he's also probably the guy most responsible for bringing people back to playing odd homemade instruments, such as this. And he does diddly bow stuff and a bunch of other stuff. So if you don't know who he is, please go down that rabbit hole. I think you'd be very, very entertained, and he's really good. One of the things I want to talk about, there's been other things said about this particular guitar and this particular tuning, and then I'll show you how to play the song, is he plays with his fingers. Now you can get close with the pick, but the pick tends to homogenize everything and it sounds really steady, whereas he gets a real groove going. Now, whoa, didn't realize I had that much echo. So because I'm doing a lesson, I'm muting. I don't think he mutes. He mutes maybe in between and then comes back down. But I'm muting a bit because otherwise I'll overdrive my little camera here and it'll sound really bad. I'm using a cube set on Brit Rock with the gain cranked up and everything else in about the middle except the volume's turned down a bit. Apparently when he did his early recordings he was using a cube too, so I don't know. The other thing to be aware of, and I was wondering about this because, I thought to myself, well, why not just play a cigar box guitar? Or why not, is this just a gimmick, or is there really some use to this? Well, I think there really, really is. This gap here, instead of putting all the strings together, you've got this gap, which allows you to have your first finger here. That'd be really tight on a cigar box guitar. It'll work, but it's tight. But it also allows you to do stuff like keep that rhythm going while you got 2 strings up high going. He seems to do that here and there. So I think this gap is more important than you might think. And if you try to do this on a 6-string guitar, you're going to have a problem right off the bat, because the intro, which I might as well show it to you now, is a harmonic on the 12th fret on the low string, middle string open, and then the 6th fret on the high string. Now, the hard thing for me to get around is I'm used to muting everything, every extra note. He does not do that. He lets everything ring. next lick is the same. Harmonic, middle string, and then 5. Except I went and muted it. And the last one is 4 down here. So harmonic, middle, 4. And this is the one he lets ring into feedback. So he lets everything ring. So what's important about that is if you had the high E string on here, you wouldn't be able to angle the slide enough to get those strings to ring. Because you would have to flatten it down because of the high string, or you would have the high string making noise against these frets. So the location of these strings are a lot more important than you might think. And also, when you play a 3-string cigar box guitar, or when I do anyway, like, you get used to it and your fingers are right there, boom, boom, boom. But they're pretty tight. With this, your hand is spread out, so you can really get your thumb going. Speaking of which, let's do the basic groove, and that is just back and forth thumb and first finger. And whenever you want, you can include the high string if you want. It doesn't really matter. I think on most versions he's including it. And the count to adding the 3rd fret here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He carries on like that and sings a verse, and the verse turns around on these 2 chords, 5 and 3. But it doesn't do it on the 4. So the count for that is 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So those 2 things will get you through the verses. And when he does Dog House Now, or whatever the line is, forgive me if I got it wrong, he does. And then he often goes to that 6th note. Then back to this. There's another part where he does the ah-ooh sort of thing. Does that different on different versions. He seems to start it just with the groove, and after he does the ah-ooh, he goes over here to 3, so it's kind of like 0, 3, and then the middle string. But it almost gets a sound like he's pulling off. It's just a sort of like almost a feck. And later on he goes up here. And it seems to me whenever he's changing parts of the songs, he does the 5-3 slower. Most of the time it's like that. So I hope you have a lot of fun with that, and maybe take a look at who Seasick Steve is if you don't know. But if you're new to cigar box guitar, you might want to check him out. And once again, you can do this with your cigar box guitar. It's just a matter of changing your outside string to the middle so that you have low G, high G, and then adding a B string. And it's a quite interesting effect. And there's more stuff you can do with it too, but I'll just go that far for today. Have a great day. Bye.